All right, so our final storyteller, Sidney Jones, get on up here. Yes, yes, yes.
This is surreal. I never in my life believed I would ever do anything like this, and I'll explain in a sec. You may know me as anonymous high school background character number 3, but what you might not know is that I am a professional escape artist. I would count myself among the greats of the 20th century. Harry Houdini, I'm talking really good. Have you ever been to a bad Thanksgiving? Your drunk uncle is crying in the corner, and your cousin's about to fistfight your brother over a loan he gave him to start an upscale laundromat. When I was growing up, every single day of my life was a bad Thanksgiving. And you know how you feel after a bad Thanksgiving. You're tired. You wish that you could reach to your relatives for help and love, but there's no peace. There's no safety. So when I turned 13, I had to leave. I did 2 things in quick succession. I took about a half a bottle of sleeping pills, and I cut a hole in my bedroom window screen with a thumbtack, and I was out. Starting my career as a magician, I was going to escape, or I was going to die. But I survived, and I lived the next 5 years of my life. I started high school. I lived with one relative or another. Sometimes I would start the year in one place and end it in another. Unfortunately, the thing about bad Thanksgivings is no matter how long it takes you to recover from the dry turkey, you still have to go back the next year, and that was what it was like. I experienced it again and again, and it never worked out. I slept in hospital beds and home beds and on couches and on floors, and I escaped through front doors and back doors and the aforementioned window and a moving car, and I was never steady and I was never stable, and I didn't think I would make it this far. I didn't think I would graduate. I couldn't see myself going to college. I couldn't see myself living a life. Most recently, this past summer, I was in a group home. It was for kids with mental disorders. After everything that's happened, I have post-traumatic stress disorder and depression and anxiety disorders, and I was happy, but again, I was going to have to leave. By no choice of my own, at the age of 18, they stopped providing services to you, so I set up to live an adult life. I knew I couldn't rely on my family anymore. So I signed up to go to a job corps way up in northern Washington, and I was going to learn a trade, and I was going to go on from there. And then fate got me. The day I was supposed to leave, there was forecasted this monumental, historic storm. And I mean floods in the streets, floods in your basement, people in kayaks everywhere, because Portland is like that. So I was terrified. I was not ready to travel, and I gave a call to my best friend Alejandro, who is weird enough to talk to me in the first place. So, he's absolutely zany to offer a place for a teenage traumatized magician a few days until the weather improves, but he did, and I showed up with a trash bag at his house that day, and it wasn't raining yet, and it did not rain. Until. So we headed up the hill to Du's Teriyaki. Absolutely recommend it. Most delicious thing. It's amazing, okay? It's incredible. We're eating dinner, and the sky is so ominous that I look out onto Sandy, and the clouds match the color of the asphalt, and it looks like the world ends at the top of the hill, and it's still not raining. Until about 30 seconds after we walk out the front door to walk home. And then it's raining, and then it's pouring. I'll keep it short, but I arrived with about 2 inches of water in my boots and rain in places that have yet to see the sun. So, but I get about a block away, and I look up, and I feel safe. I realized I wasn't running for a second. I was loved. I was walking home, and at that time, I didn't expect it to last. I didn't expect anything to last. When you leave over and over again in your life, you can only see the departure when you look at any part of a relationship. But by fate, 2 things happened. in the next week or so. One, I found out that leftover Dude's teriyaki chicken, even with about half a cup of Portland rainwater, is better than dry turkey at a bad Thanksgiving any day. And then the second thing that happened, Alejandra's mom enrolled me back in school here at Grant. Almost without my permission. I didn't expect it to happen, and it did. And it was permanent. They want me. They want me to stay. And that was the first time I was ever sure of anything in my life. I was going to graduate. I'm going to go to college. So, tonight, I would like to officially resign from my career as an escape artist. It's been fun, and I've had lots of interesting experiences, but there'll be no need for that from here on. Thank you.
And that is how you shut down a story slam, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Sidney. Woo! Yeah! Holy cow. Well done, and thank you for sharing that story with us.